And in this video presentation, we're going to discuss the function and philosophical perspective of arts. Miss J. Marino Liora will give us a brief introduction about this topic, and function of arts will be discussed by Miss Marian Bonino. And I am going to answer the question, does art always have to be functional? And philosophical perspective of arts will be discussed by Mr. RCJ San Jose.
Art is a profound and multifaceted realm of human creativity that has captivated minds and hearts of centuries. Ang art daw ay isang multifaceted at nagbibigay ng iba't ibang uri ng detalye or creativity sa isang tao sa mahabang panahon. In its essence, art serves two fundamental dimensions, the function and philosophical perspective. These dimensions shed light on the purpose and deeper meaning behind artistic expression. Ang purpose daw nito ay ipaliwanag at ipaintindi ang ibig sabihin ng artistic expression. Ang artistic expression ay gumagamit ng imahinasyon para to build a new object or new product kagaya ng sculpture. This report explores the multifaceted nature of art, focusing on its function and philosophical perspectives. Sa report namin ito ay tatalakay namin kung ano ang function at ang philosophical perspective. It explores art role in society, kung ano ang role ng art sa society, its roles as self-expression for artists, and its capacity for communication and reflection of societal dynamics. It also delves into the philosophical perspectives that have shaped our understanding of art, including aestheticism, representation, expression, and social commentary and interpretation. This report invites readers to join in the exploration of the world of art, where creativity is boundless.
Now we'll move to the functions of art. The functions of art, these are artworks that are crafted in order to serve physical purpose such as jars, plate, and jewelries. Even art is opposed to personal interest, and for collective interest, it is considered to have a social functions. The functions of an art will fall into three categories. We have physical, social, and personal. The physical is a function of art are often the easier to understand works of an art that are created to perform some service have physical functions. If you have see Phrygian work love, you have may assume that whoever wonderful that craftsmanship, maybe it was created to perform the physical function of smashing skulls. And the second is social. The social art has social function when it addresses aspect of collective life as opposed to the present point of view or experienced viewers can often relate in some way to social art and are sometimes even influenced by it. For example, public art in 1930s Germany had an overwhelming symbolic theme. And the last is the personal. The personal function of art are often the most difficult to explain. There are many types of personal functions, and these are highly subjective. Personal functions of art are not likely to be the same from person to person.
Does art always have to be functional? An artwork can still be considered art even it has no function. Some artworks are created purely for aesthetic purposes to express the artist's creativity. All arts exist for a reason, and these reasons make up the functions of art. So, ibig sabihin, hindi lahat ng art is my function, but it's considered as an art. So, ang iba ginagawa lang siyang kumbaga pang display, but still considered pa din siya as an art. And another example is yung kay Juan Luna, yung Spolarium. So, kung titingnan nyo, para lang siyang isang malaking painting na nakadisplay sa museum. But, it has a function. Because the reason why Juan Luna created Spolarium is para gisingin yung diwa ng mga Pilipino sa katiwalayang ginagawa ng mga Espanyol noong panahon ng pananakop.
For the next topic is Philosophical perspective on arts. According to Plato, artists are imitators, and art are just an imitation. The things in this world are the only copies of the original. The eternal and the true eternities can only be found in the world of forms. So for Plato, imitators, art is just an imitation. It is an imitation of the reality, so they are actually not true. So for Plato, he is not more into idealistic. He is more into idealistic or is or idealism. When we say idealism, everything that exists in mind is the only true form, and outside the mind is not true. Plato was deeply suspicious of art and artists for two reasons. They appeal to the emotion rather than to the rational faculty of men. They imitate rather than to lead one to reality. For Plato, because he was idealistic in nature, he sees art as imitation. Because we only try to imitate or we only show the artists on their time was actually trying to impress the masses. That's why the art pieces or the work of art during those times are very aesthetic in nature. And sometimes they are beyond the reality or they change the view on the reality, which is misleading according to Plato. Another one is the appeal to the emotion rather than to the rational faculty of men. For Plato, a man should be rational in nature. Everything should have reasons, ideally, but in art, we sometimes do not go with the reality because we appeal to the emotion. We try to symbolize something, we try to give or associate a certain emotion on the art pieces and on the process of creating the art pieces so that these are two reasons why Plato is deeply Socrates. Just like Plato, he claimed that art is just an imitation of imitation. For Plato, art is dangerous because it provides a petty replacement for the real entities that can only be found attained through reason. So for Plato, it only provides a petty replacement, so an imitation from the real world is being imitated, and the imitation that was created from the original is being imitated and presented in other perspective. So that's why these two does not agree that art because of them art is dangerous. For Plato, art is dangerous because it provides petty replacement. It's better to have original than to have a replacement that is according to Plato. Art as a disinterested judgment. Immanuel Kant considered the judgment of beauty, the cornerstone of art, as something that can be universal despite of its subjectivity, and therefore art is innately autonomous of a specific interest. Every human being, after perception and the private of his faculties, should recognize the beauty that is inherent in a work of art. This is the kind of universality that a judgment of beauty is assumed by Kant to have. So for him, art is a disinterested judgment. Every human being, after perception, the free play of his faculties should recognize the beauty. So for him, there is a universality in the evaluating or analyzing the work of art. Art as a representation. Plato's most important student in philosophy agreed with his teacher that art is a form of imitation. However, in contrast to his teacher's disgust, Aristotle conceived that art as representing possible version of reality. For him, all kinds of art do not aim to represent reality as, as it is, but to provide a version of what might be or the many possibilities in reality. For Aristotle, uh, he is not disgusted that art is an imitation, rather rather than Socrates' art is another version of a possible reality because the reality that we see today may be different from the other's perspective. Every individual is unique with their cognitive structure, with their perception and experience, this resulting from different interpretation. There is no set of standard of aesthetic beauty. There is we set of the standard in evaluating. There is no set of standard evaluating or percepting ideas or emotion. So for him, all kind of art do not aim to represent reality, but to provide a vision of what might be or many possibilities in the reality. So those are the possible realities that others fail to see, or a vision for a better society. Art as a communication of emotion. Art places a huge part in communication to its audience emotion that the artist previously experienced. Tolstoy is fighting for the social dimension of art. This means that art serves as a mechanism of cohesion for everyone. So for Leo Tolstoy, an art itself is a social dimension. It serves as a mechanism of cohesion, something that initiates, something that triggers, so that art as a communication of emotion.